setups in the weirdest kind of ways, right? Like, you need to be prepared for literally anything.
Oh, like a double peek from Catwalk. Sterling carves out the head of Viva, but there is a 3-player peek. And Zhao Sage is the player that gets the final nail in the coffin. It's back and forth. A bit of an assist from Sterling onto APOC. 3v3, and Hazza is being tagged, or at least shot at on the car. He did have a player alongside him, which is Soju, but Jira can hear them on the cross. He can hear all those footsteps. That's a call that's going to come through. Fast rotation to the B site here, Van.
So just going to make it in. Actually, it's yeah, it's the fake. It's the snake. That's what it is. And an over-rotation has definitely been in from Avant as well. But they're going to get, well, learn about it quickly as we do have the quick wrap around from Jira. Spots out a couple of people in T spawn. So now they're a little bit left wondering as to what might happen. Seems like it's going back to B as well. And that could very well be the correct call here from 5Power.
There's still so much time left that they can't take anything for granted. They also have a USP, so at longer range encounters, Zhao Sage can still do some real damage.
Still one flash as well. 2 decoys, which are not going to be useful for too much. Potentially just, I guess, throw one of the CTs off for a fake flash, but here we go. Flash comes in, easily dodged from Jira.
Needs to land bullets to heads, though. Soju going to be called upon. He can't get it done either. It's a bit of a scrappy affair here. Only 18 seconds remaining, so the Terrorists have got to get across that site soon. One of these players is going to be forced to go for the plant, and in doing so, Shadowpie's been found and fragged. Bolt Jr. in the meanwhile is doing so much work with his Glock. But Soju just has to survive. He just has to back away. He's going to go back in for seconds and does claim the final frag of the round. And will go the way of the CTs. What a strange round that was.
It really was a lot of back and forth. Not necessarily off of indecision either, just 5Power thinking that they had the read. And to be fair, they do make it onto the B bomb site rather rapidly. It's just the fact that, as you said, Avant not having the information enough to necessarily commit over towards the A bomb site. They stay fairly tightly knit together, and that's actually what saves them. They're able to pounce on 5Power before they get a bomb plant down. Really nicely done, but yeah, I will have to say, and this is something that Bled touched on the desk as well. It does feel like, again, limited knowledge on the side of what the well, Kiwis and Aussies have to offer. It does feel like 5Power have more strings to play off in terms of what kind of players have, I guess, pop-off potential, if you want to call it that. We've seen Bottle obviously having amazing tournaments here and there. Viva has definitely had his games. Savage is obviously such a storied name in this game that you know what he can be good for. So it feels like everyone just has the potential to carry them through with a win here. And I think for Avant, a lot of it is going to have to rely on Sterling. Only one with really international experience to this level. I mean, APOC's obviously very experienced, but hasn't really ventured too much outside of his region.
Sterling is the other player that, as they said, have been in a previous minor, and he is going to be battered out of the site. Plenty of damage inflicted, though. MP9 spray, only good for the one. Has having a bit of a whiff there, and that will be pressured. As well. Yeah, 2 HP to his name. Does still come out swinging with a headshot and kill, and that gives enough time for the rest of his team to make a move through Catwalk side. Yeah,
preventing the bomb plant as well. So even though they do sustain some heavy losses there, at least they make sure that 5Power doesn't get any extra cash to their name. So far, so good.
I think one of the main reasons as well, then, why so many people, ourselves included, think this is an incredibly close game is when you look at the world ranking, 5Power 75th, Avant 74th. So they're neck and neck when it comes to world ranking too.
Can't really get closer than that. Now, though, with 5Power not getting a bomb plant down, there's not going to be a reinvestment, just Deagles. OAKs, and that nade could potentially do a lot of damage. Bottle down to 36 HP and follow up. All right, so nowhere near a bomb site and already pretty lackluster on the health bar. Here we go, APOC with a quick swing around. He's going to net himself 2. Might even get a 3rd. No, Savage is going to deny that, but still. Easy going for Avant in this scenario. And to be fair, I mean, they have taken some pretty significant scalps to get here as well. I think if people were to just look at the lineups for the Oceanic Minor, obviously Greyhound would be the favorites for that. But Order, one of the teams that Avant ended up beating, you know, definitely a team with with names that you'd recall, right? Like that you've seen around, at bigger stages than what I guess the current 5 of Avant have been to. So cool to see some growth in the Australian community as well. Quick push up to long. And already we're seeing more of a skirmish than what we saw in the first best of 1.
So many Molotovs and HEs planted down. 5 kills in the blink of an eye. But it will favor the CTs of Avant. Savage and Shadowpie remain. And they're going to start to pull back towards the B side of the site. I mean, the fact that that went off so ridiculously fast gives them plenty of time to try and play some mind games against the CTs. And Jira nearly caught in transition, just changing his angle up. Has seen one, missed that shot somehow. Looked as though it may have landed just on his shoulder. But won't be whiffing this time around. 2 kills back to back, holds the line.
One could say stop the bleed.
He certainly did in more ways than one.
Impressive showing so far here, and yeah, actually taking the fight out to long, getting the favorable trades. Hazard here, getting everything lined up for himself in the Molotov to boot. Gotta feel pretty good about that. 4-0, quick round so far.
It's been explosive, for sure. 5Power not messing about.
Not messing about at all with this rebuy either. Pretty much going into this without any sort of utility at all. One of the flashes that they had already been expended over towards long. Not going to find a kill for it. Does some tag damage on Sterling, but not going to net them a kill. Now the Jiro with the op here in mid. Gonna have to be wary. See the ledge smoke on door to get them up on big box as well. So safe passage up on short.
The smoke has been deployed. Savage thought about it, but decided better. Surprised that grenade did no damage, but Jira will capitalize onto Savage as he pulls back from short.
Now at least they have confirmation on where the op is, but no ground gained here, really. A lot of the utility from Avant being expended early here before any sort of actual take comes in to hold them back. Yet another smoke down on Catwalk. 5Power just kind of sitting around waiting it out. At some point, time is going to be an issue. Bomb still dropped outside of a cave. As you see, Bottle goes back to retrieve it. Still needs to be wary about mid, just in case Chira decides to re-peek here. Looks like they're rotated around, though. It's just going to be Hazza holding mid for the time being.
Now Molotov has been planted down. They're going to go for the peak, but Zhao Sage up to the task. He eviscerates Sterling. 15 seconds to get across to the site. And not really any utility to speak of. Apox goes to task with 2 M4 frags, and Shadowpie can do very little but just watch on and decide to try and save his AK. We're going to be off to a 5-0 lead for the counter-terrorists.
Hot start here early on. Being able to hold 3 players alive as well. It's going to be interesting to see as well. I mean, because we don't get to see these teams too much in a LAN environment, see how vocal they get, how animated they are once they win rounds and everything. Be a lot of fun. Obviously, we just came off the back of the America's Minor, which is a loud affair.
Oh, yeah.
Added a lot to the atmosphere and experience of it. We'll see if there's more of that to come here. So early pause.
Yeah, it was that Brazilian passion that was really shining through. We did have a few moments with the Singularity in particular, some of the NA players getting rowdy. I don't think there's been too much to scream and shout about right now. If you're 5Power, you've been obliterated. Also in the other group, it should be mentioned that MVP lost their first game. So
yeah,
that group is kind of up in the air right now.
Yeah, Alpha Red with the upset early on Train. It's fun to see some more teams out of the region except for the usual suspects. Find some big results to start us off. Even if it is the one game, it's still quite the notch on their belt. And again, another bit of a weird buy coming in from 5Power here. Still going to work out. Viva somehow finds Apuck lost, stranded on an island, but Sterling's going to find Shadowpie. So even numbers so far. Hazza joins in for 2, actually. Just like that. Significant advantage going in the favor of the CTs, and Soju finds Bottle as well. 6-0. And these half buys coming in from 5Power not really working out too well right now. They had 2 of the players investing into rifles, 3 of them going with ZZs. You'd have to imagine at some point they just decide to swallow that bitter pill, go for I guess collective eco so they could get some ops in their hands at full utility. Actually set up for some proper buy rounds. This time it's going to be Savage with the op. But again, it's the utility that's lacking here on the side of 5Power.
It is. At least they do have the sniper on Dust2. I mean, it's something you try and rush down as soon as possible. You can see two of them in the hands of Avant at this stage with Sterling and Jira sharing that burden. But yeah, that last round was strange. It was so disjointed out. It was like one by one walking out into 3 frags. Very disjointed for 5Power. They're going to have to come together and try and get this system back online.
And Hazard early on has shown that he's more than capable of dealing with these kind of situations, already up at 10 frags. 140 ADR. Peering in towards Cave. Tempo significantly slowed down now for 5Power. Pretty important round as well. 6 rounds on the board already for the CTs is not an easy feat to climb back from.
If they lose this, it's going to begin to spiral out of control, you have to worry, for the Chinese team. 40 seconds. They're really playing with every single second at their disposal. Smoke out onto long. They only have 1 left, and when it comes to crossing onto the A side, they're going to be leaving at least half of it open for debate. This is very worrying. 25 seconds, 5Power. They've got to start moving right now. They cannot afford to wait any longer. And in doing so, Haz is going to deal with the first, and it should just be a complete collapse. A couple of whiff shots are going to get punished from Shadow Pie on Catwalk.
Bomb. They kind of need that with them. 10 seconds left to go, so they are going to get the cross. Luckily for them.
They have time?
They do.
Just about, yeah. Shadow Pie has been dealt with, though. And it comes down to Soju. He's been spotted, but does come out swinging. He's got the HP advantage.
Oh,
He'll be banking the nade off the wall. Doesn't quite go deep enough. Just chips away Savage to 15 HP. He's got the AWP and does miss. I thought he had that shot dead to right. How important and pivotal could this moment be for Savage and 5Power? Moving around the side. Gets caught. I mean, what was he planning on doing? Jump shotting with the AWP?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the idea was there from Savage.
I'm so confused.
Weird decision to see him make as well, considering the kind of experience that man has. But yeah, just, I guess, hoping to go unnoticed until Soju commits to the bomb plant. Something to that effect. Outside of that, I don't really see what the thought process was. Nonetheless, you know, just coming in from GD.bet, understandably favoring Avant at this stage. 7-0 up. I mean, they've been dealing pretty well with it. 5Power lucky to get a bomb plant and actually, I guess, be within a chance in that previous one.
Yeah.
With how little time they left on the clock.
It's down to 10 seconds. They just started moving. Shao
He's dead.
Dead man, yep. Also throws his smoke out just to add salt in the wound so no one can go pick that up.
A rough start already. He just seemed completely unaware of the fact that Avant could have the timing to actually push in towards upper. So far, pretty sloppy stuff from 5Power. I expected a lot more out of them.
Yeah, this on paper looked like it would be one of the closest games today, but been anything but that, really. Avant 2, coming into this, we were scratching our heads. No previous games on Dust2, and I think it's safe to say, having a bit of a stormer of a performance.
Absolutely so. And when you look at the lineup, and just the makeup of the team on 5Power side, this was pretty much the best they could scrap together in China outside of the leftovers of Vici after Freeman left and Tai Lu, obviously. Soju tucked away in a corner. And so far, they're so spread out. Bottles over towards Catwalk. There's Viva moving up towards window. Savage goes early. And he actually gets picked up in window as well. So there's not a whole lot of chance here for Bottle to make it back to get the bomb plant down in APOC. The right place at the right time to net them another kill.
Again, though, it's one of those strange situations where it's like they peek out one by one, but there's no avenging potential. Like, you can see how far... Okay, Zhao Sage, fair enough. He just got caught. Grenade finished him off. But then after that, you can see on the minimap, as he died, everybody completely spread across the map. And it stayed that way until the end of the round.
Yeah. It's been pretty rough to watch so far. Not really sure what they've worked on. I mean, they had the option of going into Overpass or Dust2, and since they got the final ban, you would imagine that they had some sort of an idea as to how they want to play out Dust2. Got to be a little bit curious as to how they actually, you know, get their wins in their own region. You know, it's not like I think it was Bleo mentioned this, the fact that they've beaten BTRG, which is the team that Fates currently plays for over in China, which is, you know, obviously then you know that there's some quality, right, in the individual side of it. So if they're able to win out games like that, then, you know, what are they doing differently? Because what they're doing now is not really inspiring and shouldn't be, well, anything. He's feeling confident right now.
And he may reap the rewards because Bottle has no idea what's coming up against him. He's already snaking down into the lower tunnels. Gonna find Bottle right now. Doesn't even need to move in. He's already established his presence. 3-player stack on long. Gonna feed on 5Power. Again, no kills come in. 9-0 start for the Australians. This is already out of control now.
I mean, with how lackluster this has been, I mean, can you think about potentially looking at a 15-0 half? I know it's, again, still very early days for that to happen, but right now it doesn't seem like 5Power are able to find any sort of holes in the defense of Avant.
I think that's definitely a possibility unless something drastic changes. They did call a timeout, so let's see what they have in store for this one.
I'm not going to go for the early long corner peek, deciding that the spawn was not in their favor. Slows everything down a fair bit. See Jira this time without an op, holding down mid, so I guess one thing less to worry about for 5Power in that sense.
Jaunapai spotting a couple of Molotovs being tossed onto short. Jira could just wait in the smoke for the right moment to peek out and see if he can maybe get a couple of kills, but it does seem like it's going to be more of the tried and tested catwalk push. Maybe Jira was a step ahead, which is why he's one for the M4. He spotted at least one player crossing, would have heard a second dropping down.
Yeah. Seems really eager to just get in behind any sort of execute that 5Power wants to commit to. Right now, might just be dropping Bottle down into spawn or staying on catwalk is a bit of a late lurk. We'll see. Flash goes out, so this is probably him dropping down into spawn, just waiting for the timing. Takes a lot of damage for it as well.
Soju is going to need to do so much work for his team. Only one kill. A 2v3. We discussed this in the previous Miners Vendetta, that B site is a nightmare to retake, especially when you're a player down. They've got plenty of funds, but they realistically want to throw away a potential open AK. This will be a lot of firepower that they could keep ticking forward. The confidence will be running high. That flashbang, though, is a dud and actually does more harm than good.
Yeah, I think at that point you just kind of give up on it, see if you can actually find exit kills instead, but
I'm amazed they went for that.
Yeah, it's a bit hopeful. Again, they probably have the realization that, you know, whatever we can do in terms of economic damage is going to be more to the T side. It's going to do more harm to the T side than it does us, which is true. But I think you stand a better chance of just waiting out, see if anybody actually tries to rotate out of the site than actually diving into basically hoping that one flash covers, you know, 6 different angles.
Yeah, and even then, the flashbang just hit APOC in the face. So
yeah,
at
the first
that
one
point, you
just
pull
did
the
not
plug.
work out.
Because that's an AK-47. Like, that one-tap potential is on the cards. Like, it's a really powerful gun on the CT side, but
yeah,
whatever. 9-1, they still have a vast lead, of course, that are in control. I mean, you can see how few kills 5Power have gotten. They're just averaging one around.
It's been real rough. I'm going to have to change that up now. At least they've gotten the first round on the board. So they got that going for them, and they also got the better long spawn, so long control gained. No flurry of nades being exchanged this time. So new look for 5Power here. They can look to establish something. Actually, yeah, Avant not even placing themselves around bus stop or on bomb sites right now, focusing more on actually holding off catwalk control, making sure they're not pincered.
Maybe more of a passive deep defense as a result of having 2 AWPs again.
Can definitely play the distances with this one. You're going to fall back from mid, not going to peer into it all of the time. And Soju is the sole defender for the time being over towards B. And if he goes down early, there is a limit to how much Jer can do through, well, from either double doors or windows. Again, though, 5Power just really using a whole lot of time to not get much done. They got mid control, long control, pretty much immediately off the bat. Now we're looking at 40 seconds left, and all they've done is manage to get back into mid. A lot of smokes go down. Up on count we go. So looks to be the A split. It's the name of the game. They do have Savage and Pit with the Krieg.
I think with the smoke deployed in mid, they have a very good idea as to what's coming up, and they still have an incendiary. They've got still some flashbangs to play with. There's the incendiary being placed down. So much damage onto Savage, but he is alive, and now they're all ticking away to that fire. Through the fire they will move. A couple of Molotovs tossed into the site, but now the weakened players can't get across to the site. There's not enough time. The round is done.
Is it, though?
Oh,
there you go.
Was that a millisecond left?
It has to be. That's about as close as you can get.
Oh my goodness. I was sure he didn't have enough time for that. Okay, well, it's back on the table again. It's open for debate. Heads popping over the edge of the catwalk, and Sterling is going to pick up the frag onto Viva, leaving it all on bottle. That flash isn't really going to do anything to him, but he's missed his chance. Although they do just about scrape by with a bomb plant, they're not going to be able to convert it, so Avant move into a 10-1 lead.
Yeah.
I'm still amazed he cut that plant down.
Yeah, I could have sworn it was like 3 seconds left when he started planning. But
Yeah.
I mean, they have to feel pretty fortunate about that fact, but again, it doesn't net them in a round, which is the bigger issue here. Double figures already for Avant. Has been doing such a good job just being a bit of an anchor, whether it's over towards that slope for Catwalk or over towards long. He's always finding multi-kills. He's sitting at 15 right now. So what do you do if you're 5-power? One thing is for sure, you have to put more pressure on Avant earlier on in the rounds. Otherwise, you're going to run into the same kind of situation as you saw in the previous one, where there's still Molotovs left to be thrown on the side of the CTs when there's 18 seconds left in the round.
Oh, this is an inroad that we haven't really seen before. Zhao Sage going to capitalize on that, but has a spray on point.
Again with the multi-kill. Just time and time again. Sterling's going to chime in with a kill onto Savage as well. So Shotopai, even though he does find one in mid, needs to rotate back. Bomb's been dropped, and there's nothing really whole lot Zhao Sage can do with this. I'll say they are. The player cam looks like Xiao is having a bit of a relaxer, but that's actually Savage on the camera. So,
I was gonna say it's pretty impressive playing with one hand. Why not?
Xiao making sure that he doesn't get caught on the crossover, but Sterling's waiting for him in cave. So, yeah, 5-power. It's very lackluster T-side. Not really a whole lot to dive into. It's just the fact that they're too spread out. They don't seem to have a clear idea as to what they want to do. You can see how labor it is for them to try to get frags or just trades in general. It's not a very impressive showing from a team that I would regard as, I guess, one of the top 4 favorites to make it into the upper bracket at the very least, to start us off with the tournament.
Yeah, I think that facial expression pretty much said it all. Not impressed at all with their own performance. They know they are capable of so much more.
And this is what, their 3rd tactical pause already? And we're not yet into the second half.
Second or third, yeah. They've already depleted quite a few of them. And last time they called a tactical timeout, nothing changed.
Yeah.
Nothing happened at all. They kept getting wrecked.
And that is the big worry, right? That we haven't really seen a big change up. Now we're seeing, well, a different look of it. Bottle's going to be the one to go to the op this time. And it's actually dropped for him as well. Doesn't go the way of, or doesn't go to Savage.
He had the best spawn for long doors. I'm curious if he's going to peek it.
It has to be what it's off of. We'll see. They haven't found success with this so far. It's going to remain the same as well. See if they actually swap it back. Yeah, they do. Now APOC, much like during that last round, feeling pretty confident about where he finds himself. Already tucked himself into a corner, and that's gone unnoticed as well from 5-power. They've been pretty adamant about this one thing at the very least in terms of holding off Cave. This time they've just managed to sneak up behind, and he's got to get the sound cue as well as to someone leaving. Oh, he's just found the right timing here. And this could pretty much be the end of the round, depending on how many you can find here. He's going to at least spot the bomb, which is really the big target. Down he goes. Bottle up on short. We've seen this before as well. This time he's going to come away with a kill, though. How did they get the bomb back?
Yeah, it's very possible that APOC wouldn't have took that shot had he have not seen it was the bomb carrier. Just to wait for more players, you know.
Exactly.
But
sat around for a little bit longer.
Because he knows it's the bomb. I'm surprised that no one had that idea in the back of their mind that there could be a player at T-spawn. Now we're going to start to see APOC move in, but Savage is a step ahead. Could it just come down to timing, though? And keep in mind, there's only 30 seconds to go, and they still have to traverse to one of these sites. That's going to eat up another 10, 15 seconds. Soju, spray, just about gets there. Could be another issue just with time. They have to get it right now, and they're probably going to have to go through
Catwalk. And that's where, well, you have APOC waiting.
If they don't get plucked out from Soju beforehand, we've seen both the heads bobbing and weaving. APOC just has to sit here. Even if he dies, they're not going to expect him to be up close. They can't do anything about this. Bottle may get the plant down. No, comes off it. The round's done. Avant 12-1 in the lead. There's really not too much you can say about this.
Really isn't. I mean, hats off to Avant for how they're playing right now. Not making any mistakes, finding the right timings as well. I mean, they're taking advantage of every mistake that 5Power is making, right? The audible retreat from Cave as well gives opening for APOC. That drops the bomb. So we never really see 5Power getting into a position where they can set up for an execute nice and easy without having any troubles. But a lot of that is their own doing. And right now, they're getting schooled. Viva sets up for the angle incorrectly as well, and double ops getting into work nice and early here for the CT side.
Soju, MP9 about to go into a farming frenzy, or perhaps not. Orb shot has gone alright. Shadowpie can maybe punish Jira. Probably not though on 1 HP. Make it 0. And Savage elsewhere on the map, going back towards the T-spawn where the bomb was dropped.
Yeah, at least he has that, right? But it's going to take quite the performance to bring them back into it. Sterling already posted up in the right position as well. Savage not ready for it, and, well...
We're really trying to stretch out the positives. We're like, at least he's got the bomb.
Yeah, well, to be fair, that's been a bit of an issue for them up to this point as well, kind of having the bomb go by the wayside for a few times. But there is a limit to how much positivity you can find in a 1-13 deficit, right?
It has been every bit as one-sided as the 13-1 scoreline would suggest as well. Soju's loving it. In good spirits, and why not when you're destroying the opposition this hard?
Savage actually going to miss the shot onto Hazard as well. So it's gone from bad to worse, and 14-1 is looking more and more like where we're headed. Very impressed by what we've seen out of Avant, though, so far.
Definitely.
They've been looking on point. Jira, first tournament as an in-game leader, doesn't really seem too phased by it. We'll go down to Viva, but at this stage, APOC's already wrapped around from long once again. And it's just outclassing, really. That's what it is. That's what it's been for the entirety of it. Avant might be a bit of a dark horse here.
Well, we thought the Greyhound and Energy game was one-sided. We hadn't seen nothing yet.
Yeah.
So either way, guys, we're going to head to a commercial break and see if 5Power can pull off some magic when we come back. It was demolition for 5Power on that first half of Dust2 in this best of one. But the roles are now reversed. Maybe, just maybe, we're in for something truly special, Vendetta.
Yeah, about that.
Not a believer, no?
I mean, we tried our best to stay positive and see if there was a silver lining there for 5Power, but it really didn't feel that way for, well, pretty much the entirety of it. They had maybe 1 or 2 rounds where it felt like they were within a chance of you know, netting a round, but no, this is just Avant just completely outplaying 5Power, and it's largely, well, partly because Avant were playing a solid CT side, by all means, again, making the most out of any sort of mistake 5Power were making, but man, that was just straight up a terrible T side.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to call it like it is and not sugarcoat it. That was pretty awful.
It was.
But this CT side maybe they can pick up the pistol. There's ways back in. Bottle just caught between 2 players. Spoiled for choice. Good shot on the cross though by Shadowpie. Maybe offered a few more opportunities elsewhere. Zhao Sage has been dealt with. The P250 from Sterling has caved in 1. In fact, it's a Glock, pardon me. There was a P250 in the hands of Jira and Soju on the long side. And Viva can do very little about stopping this cross.
Yeah. He does have a defuse kit in his hands at the very least. He's got a smoke as well, so potentially he could do something here. Bomb's been planted though, so time is ticking. 1v3. Already been spotted out as well. Yeah. Time's just going to run out before Viva really gets close to the bomb site, and Jira picks him off. Nice and easy for Avant, sitting at map point, early days. Well, I mean, yeah, you were hoping for the role reversal, maybe a shimmer of light, a hope. I think that's been put to rest already.
Yeah, you're hoping light at the end of the tunnel, but definitely a train has just rolled over 5Power. I don't want to light the candles just yet, but we're getting towards that stage.
Yeah. Well, the long duel is actually going to work out for them. Combining forces to find Soju. Not going to be able to pick up the Krieg, though. And Apox already done his best to take control over the B bomb site. Viva here on the cross with the scout. Might do some tag damage, but very difficult to actually get the kill. Smoke's actually not going to be that good. My follow-up flash, though, is going to do the trick. So Plant's going to go down behind double boxes.
Ooh.
Here we have it. At least one being brought back. They don't have a defuse kit for this, though, and it is a B retake, so it's going to be tough.
Especially with these scopes trained on the likes of B tunnels. Spray, not quite there.
Oh, okay, then Sterling all of a sudden left alone in a 1v3.
His position, though, is a pretty solid one, but the Desert Eagle headshot going to put an end to his stand, and they're going to have enough time for the defuse. So maybe life yet for 5Power.
There is a chance. There's always a chance, just not a very big one. And of all the rounds to bring back a retake on the B-bomb site, not what I would have pegged as their best chance, but there you go. 100% increase in rounds. Got to feel pretty good about that.
Maybe playing for a bit of pride at the moment and see if it can build into something. As the cliche goes, take it 1 round at a time. You really can't look at the big picture, otherwise it'll be overwhelming here. Full Glocks, understandable for Avant. I actually like this. Oh, that grenade, though.
Meaty.
$300 well spent.
Bottle's not going to follow up on that with a peek either. So on to Catwalk we go. A bit of stat padding commences from the Chinese side. Savage to go down so far. Shell's down on 10 HP though, so he needs to be a little bit careful, but Shodapai is there to help him out. Well then, 3 rounds at least for 5Power.
Yes, only with the one flashbang, $200 investment in that previous round. So Avant now will have a healthy helping of AKs and an SG. No Molotovs, but plenty of smokes. And here's Zhao Sage lighting them up with the AUG.
Nice and easy. But now, as you said, there's going to be buy-in from Avant, so things are about to get a whole lot tougher. No ops in play just yet. Jira Not expecting the angle. Down he goes. So man advantage for 5Power early on, and nades come in. Ooh, catches Viva perfectly, and well, a lot of damage done, but no kill.
Viva was unfortunate. It did a ton of damage onto two players that were coming in, mainly Apoc, and Bottle needs to retreat and wait for the rest of his team to arrive. If he peeks out by himself, he should be picked out, but I think Sterling had a nade up, not anticipating that at all. It's going to cost him dearly. And we're going to see another successful B retake. Two smokes. There's a kit in. Beautiful counteractive flashbang, though. We'll see Hazard claim a kill. Soju's doing a ton of damage into the tunnels. And Hazard's going to clean up the rest. He has been swept aside, courtesy of Savage. But Soju is going to go unchecked. And a spray into fruition. It's all on Apoc on 9 HP, but Savage going to keep the dream alive. Going to be able to pick up the kit.
It's timely, it's labored, but gets the job done in the end. Another round for 5Power there. Again, the hopes of a comeback still pretty fleeting, but at least we're seeing something out of them. Savage for the longest time, not really getting anything done on the T side of the frag department. Now up to 13, leading the CT side here. We'll see though. Back to pistols for Avant, so you'd expect 5Power to be able to cope. Molotov's gone down as well, so that should separate the T side and be pretty easy pickings for the long defenders here.
Sterling is waiting for the opportune moment to strike in the smoke, but his teammates are being cold all around him. P250 going to yield the one kill. Nearly a second. Savage survives with 21. But 5Power now off to a 4-round win streak.
Well then. We'll see how long it goes before Avant decides to opt for a tactical pause. So far it's been pretty hefty with pauses for 5Power. They've had a lot to talk about, even though we didn't necessarily see too much change happening out of it. But again, with as big of a cushion as Avant has right now, they don't really need to feel worried about the state of affairs. Savage using that smoke to peer over on big box. Actually gets out of dodge at the right time as well. I think it would have gotten caught out by Soju there if he stuck around for a little bit longer.
I think Avant may be going to start to be a little bit concerned if 5Power make it to 10 rounds. I think that's probably the mark where they'll be looking over their shoulder a little bit more. Up until that point, they'll feel pretty comfortable knowing that they're only a couple kills away from opening up a site and converting. They've forced back Savage from the catwalk angle with the AWP.
Also got mid control and all of that as well. Bottle playing from doors and window. So not a whole lot of information as to what's going on the side of 5Power. Eva with the forward positioning in B halls is going to give them at least a little bit of an early warning. It's going to be Savage to find the first one creeping in towards CT spawn. He's going to follow up with the second one, the Apoc down. Right now doing a whole lot of damage early on. Even finds the third.
Timing very nearly cost Jira his life. It will delay a little while longer. Shouderpie puts the bullets alongside Bottle. He's shoulder peeking. Sterling's not falling for it just yet. It's so frustrating. He wants to make some moves, and there's the first kill, but well played on that retake by 5Power. Trying to drop the one-AWP shot, knowing he'd be vulnerable afterwards, and they continue their winning ways.
They do. Still such a such a hefty task, though, to start believing in a potential comeback and seeing them bringing us to overtime with how that first half went. Don't want to get our hopes up just yet. Now we're going to see a double AWP coming into play. So actually, a fair few of the teams in the Americas minor, once they swapped over to the double AWPs, actually falling a little bit behind. Yeah. I mean, they had something good going for them. Could be on a win streak, opt for the double AWPs, and all of a sudden their economy and rounds start falling apart. Obviously, it does a lot to, I guess, retake potential and how mobile you can be around the map, depending on how Avant decides to play this.
Sure, it's something we were discussing at length on other maps like Mirage, not so much on Dust2, but it takes away an element of versatility on the team. You're a lot more locked in, as you say, less mobile. But on the other side of that, we saw the likes of, I believe it was Furia, when they picked up 2 orbs, actually completely changed the dynamic of their half. And they went from strength to strength. So it can have very polarizing effects.
So with Luminosity as well, with Phelps.
Yes, very
especially
true.
on Dust2.
Yeah.
That can turn the tide of the half. Already, 5Power gotten off to a good start at the very least. 5 rounds in a row. Spam through double doors, not really going to connect with anyone, and the nade does minimal damage as well. No real commitment here from Avant just yet. They still have utility as well to set up for any sort of execute if they want to split B. Might see smokes coming into mid as well. Now with the forward positioning as well, they're going to be able to get the jump early on, but actually, Xiao with the peek from deep elevator is going to find the first kill.
They've tried this dry peek before then, and they got AWP'd, and they got completely destroyed off the back of it. I'm surprised they've done that again. 25 seconds left. Going to be dropping down. First kill goes their way, but Savage still making a move with the AWP. Meanwhile, also the flank is in from Shouterpie. And they still haven't got to play onto the B site. Now they're going to be starting to move in with Hazard. Oh. Solid entry, headshot delivered to Bottle. He knows Viva's at the back of the site. There's another one. This is now getting a bit scary for 5Power. They put so many rounds in a row. There's hefty damage through the doors. Shouterpie drops to just a measly 1 HP. And you have to feel like this is going to rest pretty heavily on Savage, who's making a move into tunnels. He may catch them off guard, may catch them from behind, but Hazard is watching the angle. This SG can't come up clutch this time. Apoc, 1-on-2. Can he get this done? Savage is trying his best to stall and stymie this as long as possible. And it is going to yield another retake. They refuse to lose.
They really do. Savage doing his damnedest to keep his team alive here. 2v2 retake. Shouterpie on 1 HP, so he can't really be put into action at any given point outside of just being a, I guess, distractive body, which actually turns out to be the case at the very end of it. Once you get into the 1v2. They do play it correctly and to the best of their ability. So far it's holding up, and yeah, we get to see the first tactical pause coming out of Avant.
I think we may have cracked the case here though, Van. Jiren needs to put the toilet paper up his nose again. As soon as he took it out, they started losing.
Losing the magic, yeah.
There it is.
The bleeding started. More ways than one. As he shout. Being so aggressive there in towards mid after finding the first pick. Great shots being nailed by here by Hazard though.
Oh yeah. Very impressive stuff, but there you go.
Just
didn't
not
yield
enough.
around. It's going to be frustrating. We saw the same earlier with the 1v4 attempt with the pistol.
Yeah.
In the previous game, and that didn't quite pay off.
Oh, actually Hazard's going to land the connection on Shouterpie at long, so finally an opening for Avant. They're just going to run with it. Definitely not prepared on the side of 5Power. Savage and Bottle managed to stabilize a little bit at least. Bottle with a nice return as well. So Savage living a little bit on borrowed time with that smoke down. He needs to reposition himself, and Shadow is going to be visible, but still not early enough. Great job from Savage here. He's really been getting at it here on the CT side.
You consider that Avant picked up the first kill, one of the first times in their T-half. You thought, okay, maybe this is it. The curtain is coming down, but what a hold. Bottle on 13 HP. He's got 2 kills to his name, and Viva up on the catwalk. Not the angle Sterling was anticipating. He had to take a gamble. And 5Power, they are slowly but surely creeping back into this game. We are getting close to the double-digit mark now.
We are, and I think a lot of it is thanks to Savage. Just a completely different player once we swapped sides. I think, yeah, for the longest time into the T side, he was sitting on 4 frags, actually bottom fragging for his side. CT side, completely different story, just laying waste to everyone. Shows up in the crosshair. He's getting really aggro as well. He's feeling it. Risky maneuver to do versus pistols as well. Gets the tag through the wall onto Apoc and just got to get out of dodge. Plays it safe.
Yeah, so much on the line. You do not want to overextend and cost your team this comeback.
Oh, it's just going to be the pop flash through the door. Savage might be in for a rough time. Actually makes it around the corner. He's got Bottle to back him up as well.
I think he's anticipating that flash. He was very quick to react as soon as it landed. Just turned tail, ran back into safety. Apoc can hear footsteps to his right side, can hear the gun of the M4 opening up. Sees the barrel for Savage, connects one, but not a second.
Oh,
And Bob actually chips in with 2 of his own, so he's holding line. Make it 3.
there you go. Could be on for the ace as well. Has a nice connection with the Deeg as well. But down to 20 HP and Bottles really wanting it right now. He's going to get it too. Ace to bring 5Power to a 9th round, and all of a sudden this momentum that we talked about for Avant-Garde or Avant Gaming gone. They don't really have anything to work with, and they haven't found too many things that have been working out for them either. It's been mid control that's, I guess, been their best bet so far over towards that B bomb set, because whenever they've gone towards A, Savage been mowing them down. Now Bottle's getting into it as well, up to 20 frags with that ace.
Makes you think how different this map could have gone had 5Power started on the CT side.
Oh, Savage.
Savage, that is so very cheeky. Gonna get punished though. Jira's looking for seconds. Did spot a second player in mid.
Well, you've taken out the Opera on this side of Avant, at least in Sterling. I really have been able to see the impact that he could potentially have for them on the T side, and that's a frustrating feeling as well. If you're an Opera, you spend a lot of the initial rounds on low econ, and not being able to do anything once you get weapons in your hand. Jira leading by example here, and actually that's gonna, well, loosen up the defense over towards B. Viva goes down, no kills found, 2v4. This might be it, Vince.
This is why the comeback was always going to be a difficult task. One mistake, one error, and it's all over. Zhao Sage, 1v4 to clutch this out of the jaws of defeat for his team. One of the hardest sites in Counter-Strike to retake, especially 1v3s. There's so many angles you have to be cognizant of, and they still have flashbangs to deal with. There's the weakened player that he's going to finish off first. His position is known, and APOC is going to put the final nail in the coffin. They eventually get across the finish line.
They do eventually, and as you said, it just felt like a matter of time before they would get there. Obviously, 14-1 first half, winning pistol in second. It would require a bit of a miracle from both sides, really, for that to go to OT. But good start to the minors for Avant. And a bit of a dark horse, potentially rearing their head here as they take down 5Power. And 5Power, you need, well, I'm not sure if you want to forget what happened on that T side, if you want to look through it, but things definitely need to change, because that was some of the most lackluster T side play we've seen on Dust2 in quite some time.
Yeah, that's definitely not scaring any other teams watching that back. They're going to be thinking, yeah, cool, leave Dust2 in the pool.
Yeah.
Their CT side, though, I will say, had they not been so far behind, I think we'd have seen a pretty exceptionally strong CT side.
Yeah.
So they're two very separate stories unfolding.
No, absolutely. The one thing that has me a little bit worried is obviously is that off of the back of Savage play, right? Like, he really turned on once we got into the second half. Is that the only reason why they stayed alive, or did they actually have something more to it? Again, just one map played, so we're going to have more chances to see them to potentially expand on that. But so far, not the opening that I wanted to see out of 5Power. I expected a whole lot more.
No, I certainly agree with you. I thought that would be one of the closest games today, and yeah, it was nearly an absolute blowout. But we have Sue on the stage with one of the winners for an interview.
Thank you very much, Vince. You are correct. I'm here joined by APOC after that victory, and it was quite the stomping on that first half. But talk to us about what happened on that second half, as we saw that 5Power was able to get 8 rounds in a row.
Yeah, I don't think we should look into it too much. We kind of thought we had it in the bag, obviously after the first half, and then we sort of just relaxed a bit. Played a bit sort of loose. Everyone was a bit, going for a bit more frags than usual, but yeah, I don't think we're ever in trouble.
For sure, it was a dominant victory at the very end. And what has the chemistry been like with this team? I know you guys have just gotten together a few months ago. Yeah,
chemistry's been great. I mean, these 4 players actually started their sort of competitive career like a couple of years back, and they went their different ways and came back together. And I'm just the old guy that plays with them now. Yeah.
Yeah, talk about what that's been like, because as you just mentioned, you are one of the older members of the team. I believe you're 31, and Hazard, I think, is only 17. So what is it like? How much experience can you offer there?
I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. I do offer them a lot of experience, but it can be challenging playing with a bunch of like 17 to 20-year-olds, but they just meme 24/7. But yeah, it's good. They're good friends, which obviously helps our chemistry in game, which is good. Yeah.
And I know this is the first LAN event you guys are playing at, so what does it mean to you to finally be able to play together on this type of a stage?
I mean, it means everything. I mean, we built the team with the dreams of playing like for a major, and so coming to this event, we're hoping to go all the way, hopefully.
Next up, you're going to be playing Greyhound, and when I talked to Dick Stacy earlier, he actually mentioned he would love to play you guys. What are your thoughts on that?
I'd like to play them, but probably more so in the grand final when we both qualified. But yeah, it'd be nice to verse them. I guess we know them probably better than any other team, so it might be working in our favor.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Talk to you later. Back to you guys at the desk.